became the first African American to earn a PhD in computer science, worked at IBM on operating systems and group technologies. His research laid groundwork for collaborative computing decades before the internet made such collaboration commonplace. Yet during the early years of his career, he navigated a corporate culture that was progressive in some respects. IBM publicly opposed segregation, but still shaped by broader societal inequities. Another towering figure was Mark Dean, who joined IBM later, but embodies the legacy of the earlier black engineering cohort. Dean co-invented the ISA bus architecture that enabled the personal computer revolution and holds multiple patents critical to IBM's PC development. Although Dean achieved greater recognition than many predecessors, his ascent highlights how long it took for black engineers within IBM to receive broader public acknowledgement. To grasp the historical depth of this story, however, we must look back to the 1940s and 1950s, when IBM was under the leadership of Thomas J. Watson Jr. Watson Jr., who succeeded his father, publicly supported racial integration within the company. IBM facilities were among the first major corporate environments to adopt formal equal employment policies. During World War II, labor shortages opened technical opportunities that had previously been closed to black workers. IBM hired black engineers and technicians at a time when many companies refused to do so outright. Yet policy did not erase prejudice. Black engineers often found themselves excluded from informal networks of mentorship and promotion. They were assigned highly technical tasks, but were seldom placed in front-facing roles where corporate leadership cultivated public reputations. The result was a quiet but consequential pattern. Black engineers contributed to the architecture of early computing systems while their white counterparts became the public faces of innovation. Among those early contributors was Roy Clay Sr., sometimes referred to as the godfather of Silicon Valley. Before moving west to Hewlett-Packard, Clay worked at IBM in the 1950s, where he helped develop software for IBM's early computers. His technical expertise was undeniable. Yet Clay himself later described the subtle barriers he faced, being passed over for certain leadership tracks, navigating social spaces where he was often the only black engineer in the room. His career trajectory demonstrates both the opportunity IBM provided and the limits imposed by structural bias. Similarly, Otis Boykin, though not primarily an IBM engineer, represents the broader ecosystem of black innovation feeding into mid-century electronics. Boykin's improvements to electrical resistors influenced consumer electronics and military systems alike. Engineers like Boykin formed part of the intellectual environment in which IBM operated, even if corporate branding did not foreground their names. The Cold War intensified IBM's need for advanced computation. The IBM 701 and its successors were critical to military research, nuclear simulations, and aerospace calculations. Black engineers working in these programs You know what? I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who the truth.
All eyes on me.
used to be. I want you to always be a part of me. And no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving if you don't want me to. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Stop loving you, no matter what you do. Baby, this could be the last time that we fall in love again. Oh, and I just can't believe the love I'm in. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Can't stop loving you. Stop loving. Baby, I've been such a lucky girl. Almost let you slip right out of my world. It's so nice just to hear you say, I can hear you say, that in my arms is where you want to stay. And no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I say I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. No matter what you do, baby, this could be the last time that we fall in love again. And I just can't believe the spell I'm in. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you, loving you. I ain't gonna stop now. Stop loving you. Never gonna, never gonna stop loving. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I said I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. No matter what you don't want me to. Baby, this could be the last time that we fall in love again. And I just can't believe this love I'm in. And I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I say I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I say I'm never gonna stop, stop loving you. No matter what you do, never gonna stop, no, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I'm never gonna stop. Yeah.
What's the fastest way to
All eyes on me. All eyes on me. Now we got it back like it used to be. I want you to always be a part of me. And no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Stop loving you. No matter what you do, baby, this could be the last time that we fall in love again. Oh, and I just can't believe the love I'm in. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Can't stop loving you. Stop loving. Baby, I've been such a lucky girl. Almost let you slip right out of my world. And it's so nice. Like I was saying earlier, we're coming to an end in a Black history, and you know, I'm letting you guys hear the story about um, Clarence Ellis, one of the early pioneers of IBM that pioneered the technology that we don't get to hear about or know about, but they're there in the history. You know, we wasn't taught about it in school or nothing. So I think it's our duty as Black content creators to resonate and resurrect these names of these great inventors and innovators that did a lot of things as far as creating what we use for life survival every day. The computer itself, you know, is like, you know, the computer, the Wi-Fi, the World Wide Web take you back in time. Um, it's a locator, it's an education tool, and now AI is being created on the streaming and the web itself. So just to know that we had Black pioneers that was at the forefront of this technology, I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we don't know these folks' name, like Clarence Ellis and uh, uh, what's his name? Boykin, Stanley Boykin, I think. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no other names, you know? I'm like, so I just feel like, and I hope that I do my justice, that I can educate not just myself, but you learn something about these pioneers that revolutionize what we use as tools and enjoyment and education every day. So you're welcome.
Even if corporate branding did not foreground their names, the Cold War intensified IBM's need for advanced computation. The IBM 701 and its successors were critical to military research, nuclear simulations, and aerospace calculations. Black engineers working in these programs contributed to code development, hardware testing, and systems integration. Yet when
Look at
corporate
them
history
old
celebrated
computers. Remember
milestones,
them old
they often
computers, how
listed
big they
senior
were?
managers and project leads while omitting junior and mid-level engineers, roles disproportionately occupied by minorities and women. This omission was not always malicious. Sometimes it was structural. Corporate storytelling tends to simplify complex collaboration into a handful of recognizable names. But in a segregated society, simplification carried unequal consequences. White engineers promoted into management gained both visibility and generational wealth.
Black engineers, even when highly skilled, were less likely to receive rapid promotion or public acclaim. IBM's official stance on civil rights complicates the narrative. The company supported anti-discrimination legislation and desegregated facilities earlier than many competitors. During the 1950s and 1960s, IBM recruiters visited historically black colleges and universities to identify engineering talent. Graduates from institutions such as Howard University and Tuskegee Institute entered IBM's workforce, bringing rigorous training in mathematics and electrical engineering. Yet entering the building did not guarantee equality within it. Black engineers frequently described being assigned to highly technical but low visibility projects. Their work was essential, debugging hardware, refining algorithms, ensuring reliability, but corporate communications highlighted system architects and executives instead. In the era of Nathaniel Rochester, when computing was still a specialized and somewhat mysterious field, visibility mattered enormously. The engineers whose names appeared in trade journals and conference proceedings shaped the narrative of technological progress. The 1956 Dartmouth Conference, organized in part by Nathaniel Rochester, is often cited as the birth of artificial intelligence. Attendees such as John McCarthy and Marvin Minsky became household names in computing circles. Yet the broader technical workforce that implemented early AI experiments included diverse contributors rarely cited
This is
in their respective
1950,
accounts.
y'all.
The pattern was emblematic. Visionary leaders were celebrated. Implementers faded into footnotes. By the 1960s, IBM had become a technological titan. Its System/360 line transformed commercial computing. Black engineers participated in testing, microcode development, and systems engineering for these machines. Although the public face of System/360 revolved around
I wonder how many of you guys out here that's watching this and you see this video, how many of you guys remember IBM before the Apple explosion? You know what I'm saying? You know, IBM was the computer. You know what I'm saying? I think when I first started, learning anything that was technology was on the IBM, and it was crazy. I just went to Canada last year, and 2 years ago, so 2024, and one of the shops had an old IBM computer in there, and I took a picture of it. I got a picture of it, yeah, I would try to find it, but it's like, it'll be a whole hour by the time I look through my archives and try to find that IBM computer, and then I might have just took a picture of it and it's in my timeline of my photos, and then I deleted it. So I probably did that because I got so many pictures and videos on my phone that I'm um I'm taking up a lot of storage. So therefore, you know, what I'm saying? So I gotta start like deleting a lot of stuff. So, some miscellaneous videos and pictures. That's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? My grandbaby bought some stickers from the book fair. She putting stickers all on me because she got them all on her. So yeah, I'm on granddaddy duty. She with grandma right now upstairs, helping her cook, dinner or whatever. But I said, let me run down here and finish up from earlier. I think I got 27 minutes in, the minimum time on videos. You know, I'm not monetized, but when you are monetized, they want you to at least do an hour so they can put various commercials on your video, and that's how you get compensated monetarily, right? So, but I ain't on no timeline, and I kind of like it like that for real, cause I'm random when I come on. There's no specific day, no specific time. I just do what I do. You know what I'm saying? When I feel like it, when I got the time for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a little break today. You know what I'm saying? And then, tomorrow you back at it. And I want to speak on this too. President Trump, is slicing not only when he riff government employees, but he closing a lot of federal government buildings because he like, you don't need them. So he feel him and his team and one of the buildings that I work in, got cut. So we rotating to another building come Sunday. And so all week, everybody, what's up? What? Okay. What's that?
That's your son.
What? This CBD thing?
But it's on the couch where she could reach it. Not cool.
I wonder was it this girl that was here?
I don't care who it is.
Well,
it shouldn't be.
Yeah, he probably or whoever called him down here. Yeah. Yeah, so what I was saying, yeah, so a lot of these buildings are being sliced and uh especially if they not government owned. You know what I'm saying? If they like say like if I or you got some money and you create government buildings, you know, and we go to the government to lease, let them lease our buildings. So with the whole riffing and the Doge thing of slicing the budget and all that, and trying to save money from the government, a lot of these buildings was like forfeited or like he canceled the contracts. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and these are private buildings that were being leased by government entities. And so with that being said, you know, this is what federal government is going through right now. I heard that he shut down agriculture, Department of Agriculture, and that was a bit like down on 14. What is it? That's Independence Avenue. I think that is Independence, 1400 Independence. Right there by the monument. Agriculture is like a big landmark. It take up probably 5 blocks by itself, you know, and it got like 5 buildings that's connected. You know, you got the main building, the Yates that sit on the corner of 14th Street, then the annex, and then you got the lab building, the cotton building, and that's sit across from uh, the beer engraving plant, or they call it the plant, and then beer engraving is across the street. Then beer engraving got the big building right there by on 14th by the Holocaust and by Treasury. So all of that is in that same radius. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So you know, things changing. You know, you got the midterm coming up, and he had the State of the Union. So you know, some think that meeting was a success, and some thought it was, and some didn't think it was. You know, they did a poll, and he didn't get good numbers, and then it's some controversy with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He allegedly was involved in an affair with a young lady, and then her husband found out, and the lady, I think, tried to commit suicide and set herself on fire. I don't know if she died or not. Of course, he gonna deny it, but they want him to step down, and they wanted President Trump to talk about it in the State of the Union, and he was like, "We're not talking about that." You know, so yeah, what's up? Yeah, so so the State of the Union was by percentage wise, it was not uh, a good rating at the end of the day. So yeah, so that's what's going on as far as the updates.
I might get canceled for saying.
all eyes on me.
Baby, I've been such a lucky girl. Almost let you slip right out of my world. And it's so nice just to hear you say, I can hear you say, that in my arms is where you want to stay. And no, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop, oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I say I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop, oh, stop loving you. No matter what you do, baby, this could be the last time that we fall in love again. And I just can't believe the spell I'm in. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. I ain't gonna stop now. Stop loving you. Never gonna, never gonna stop loving. No, I'm never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Oh, stop loving you. If you don't want me to, I said I'm never. No, I believe just that we study more and finally be sure what we need is in each other's arms. I'm gonna make you how I love you never had before. Even now I'm gonna get you high. Get you high. Now I love you, taste the children before. Only you love, I got to have your love, baby. Say that you wanna change my mind. I just wanna you love, I got to have your love, baby. Say that you wanna change my mind. If I call just by chance, it's the wrong time. If I say happy day, it's the wrong rhyme. Love seems to be right. I'm thinking of you day and night. I just wanna be close enough to me. Your loving arms. I'm gonna make it how love you never had before. Even now I'm gonna get you high. Up to now the love you taste and you're really ready for. I just wanna your love.
279.
Got to have your love, baby. Sing the thing gonna change my mind. I just wanna your love. I got to have your love, baby. Sing the thing gonna change my mind. I just wanna your love. I got to have your love, baby. Sing the thing gonna change my mind. I just wanna your love. I got to have your love, baby. Sing the thing gonna change my mind. I'm gonna take you high, love you never had before. Even now I'm gonna take you high.
IBM had become a technological titan.
Its System/360 line transformed commercial computing. Black engineers participated in testing, microcode development, and systems engineering for these machines. Although the public face of System/360 revolved around executive vision and corporate strategy, the engineering reality was collaborative and complex. Engineers from varied backgrounds worked long hours solving problems that had never been encountered before. Recognition began to shift more visibly in later.
All right, so the title was "We Invented Everything and Get Credit for Nothing." You know, the everyday things that we use on a daily basis. Somebody that's black invented it. You know what I'm saying? The doorknob, the shades, the blinds that you pull down to cover your windows, the toilet, the fold up bed. Like, I mean, it's a slew of things, and it's like it's just so much I can't even ram it off my head. But if you follow me, I've been giving y'all a great deal of Black History content. So as we phase out with Black History within the next 2 days, March 1st will be Sunday. Black History is over for the month. But if you're a black person and you're conscious, like Cat Williams would say, if you're woke and you consider yourself a person that's informed and you like information to stay in the know, Black History is 365. You know what I'm saying? And that's a Tom Joyner quote. Black History 365. That's who coined that phrase. And every time I recite that phrase, I like to give Tom Joyner his salute for coining that phrase on his show, the Tom Joyner Show. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do your research and find out who is Tom Joyner. If you know about Donnie Simpson, you should know about Tom Joyner. If you know about Tom Joyner, you should know about Russ Parr. You know what I'm saying? And if you know about Russ Parr, you should know about Tony Perkins, who is a radio and TV personality. So we have like in there, and if you know Tony Perkins, if you're familiar with him, then you gotta know about Kathy Hughes. She's responsible for TV One, TV Radio, One Radio. She started her career right here in DC, WOL 104 AM. This was right down the street from my school when I was in high school. We used to listen to her. And then that was also the station that played go-go on Friday nights. It started on Friday night. You could hear go-go music maybe like 8 o'clock to 10. All the bands used to do live recordings and send it to the radio station. So Kathy Hughes was the first radio owner that put go-go music on the radio waves throughout the world, throughout her markets. So thank you for that, Kathy Hughes. And that's why we're celebrating 50 years of go-go. Just like we just celebrated 50 years of rap. They were birthed around in the same era. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I was around for that, you know. 74, 75. I was 5 and 4 years old. I tell people that my listening music ear came to me in 1980 when I was 10 years old. And LL and Run DMC came on the scene around 86. I was 16. So I've been a hip hop head since 16, but I was around for the birth because I was in that timeline. I ain't know what I was hearing, but Grandmaster Flash and all the early pioneers was being played on the radio. I remember hearing it in my cousin's car on the court when we used to play ball. They used to carry around the big boom box. Y'all remember that? You know what I'm saying? Blasting all the uh uh the early hip hop. It was a group called Whistle, and they had a hit record called We Buggin', or Don't Take It Seriously, We Only Buggin'. That was a crazy song. Matter of fact, let's look that song up. Let me give y'all a little taste. Just a little taste. That used to be the hit record back in the day. Whistle. That was the group right there. I went to New York in 1984 with my stepdad, and he lived in Manhattan, which is Harlem, parts of Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And just bugging. 1985. Ah,
We're gonna whistle, and this is true. We love to do the things that we're not supposed to do. We don't mean robbing, stealing, or mugging. In fact, don't take it seriously. We're only bugging. Party is in a place you want you all to see that we can be taken seriously. But if you don't believe that, then forget you.
all right. When I was in New York in '84, that song was every 5 minutes on the radio, or when I was out on the playground on the court, which where everybody hang out at. Everybody in New York, they shoot ball all night long. I remember me and my stepfather, we went up to New York and we got there like 8 because we left from DC. We was on a Greyhound, so it took like uh 4 hours to get up there. And we got there to his family house, and we went and dropped our bags, and we went outside. We was out all night on that playground. Everybody in the apartment complex, big high rise, was outside. And you would have thought it was like 5 in the evening. It's like fucking 2, 3 in the morning. And we didn't come into around 6 when the sun was coming up. Mind you, we got there at 8 o'clock. I think I slept till shit, probably 1 the next day. I was so tired. So New York really, they really have that reputation of the city that don't sleep. Cause we damn sure didn't sleep that night or that day or that evening. And then when I woke up, they were already back outside. Then we started going around different parts of where we was at, and you know, showing me around and catching up with his crew, with family, and eating at different little spots. I mean, it was crazy. It was awesome. You know what I'm saying? That was my first time in New York in 1984. But they played that song. I swear to God, I heard that song 1,000 times up there. Whistle, we just bugging. That was the joint. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I came back to DC playing that joint, and we on the go-go tip down here. And that, rapping, L, Run DMC, Houdini, we liked all them, but they never heard of this group Whistle. And, so they was probably like up north, big. Their reach didn't get down here. So nobody, I don't think, heard their music. And I recorded a cassette tape that was playing on the New York radio, and I brought it down here, and I was playing the New York stuff down here. And everybody like, man, what the fuck is that? Turn that shit off. Like, I'm like, yo, this was happening up in New York, And but the bigger that LL and Run DMC got, then the floodgate open. You know what I'm saying? And rap became more relevant and more prevalent. And, like, so every artist start getting broke through on the airways. So we would hear different artists. But if it wasn't LL or Houdini, Run DMC, who else we was Cool Mo D, Ice T, just the main heavy hitters. But these guys, I think, just had that one big hit. So they didn't get a lot of spin play on the radio. But yeah, that joint was hitting and holding. And I was the first one that I know that was playing that song down here. And and then when people did get hip to it, I got credit for playing that joint first down here. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. And then when I came back, it was like a little neighborhood beef going on. And I kind of stopped that because I live in two different hoods. Like, I literally lived in one area and my grandmother lived in another area. And these two neighborhoods was beefing. And when I got back home, because I was just up there like probably over the weekend, and so I think I left like Thursday. We came back that Thursday, so it was like a week. And they telling me about all the drama that went down while I was gone. And so later that evening, where I live at, the guys was coming up there with baseball bats and all that. And I'm out there. I'm like, man, what's up? They're like, yeah, where your boys at? I like, dog, y'all gonna stop this shit. And then they was on something, you need to choose. Like, I ain't, look, man, both of y'all my hoods. Y'all gonna stop this shit. I'm not gonna let this go down. You know what I'm saying? And it was over nothing. It was over a basketball game. Somebody lost, and I don't even think it was a bet because my neighborhood was known for gambling. We rolled these bones and our hood had money. So if there was a bet that was placed and whoever lost, you gotta pay your bill. Cause, you know, You ain't even gotta worry about whoever you owe trying to get at you. We gonna get at you because we don't want to be looked at as a bum ass hood that, if you lost, pay your debt. We don't want that bad rap. Or don't go around there because them jokers don't pay their bet. And, no hood want a bad rap. So it was just egos. Like, my grandmother hood, we had a lot of ballers up there, good in basketball, football. But where I lived down the hill, them dudes were straight hustlers and gamblers, and you know they couldn't ball worth shit, and that's why they got beat like they did. And but I managed to calm that down, and I did. So I take credit for that. So I done did some things in my life that was substantial, and I forgot about it. I mean, I keep telling y'all, if you're fortunate to grow old, you want to have a nice journey, a long journey. Hopefully, it'll be a good journey that will be filled with a lot of good and great memories. Or it might be bad memories that you could talk about and, help somebody not fall in the pitfall or whatever. And, so yeah. But, yeah, 84. Yeah, that was the jam. And yeah. And I remember vividly, they had these Adidas called Web Adidas with the red stripes. The sole were web, were like spider web, and it was black suede around the toe. Let me see if they can pull that joint up so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
Were you exposed to Roundup at home or on the job and later diagnosed with cancer? You may have legal options.
Let me see if they gonna pull up the Web Adidas. Okay, I don't see the one that I had, but they got different versions now. All right, that's like the closest that I can get to it. The Web Adidas. It had that same web soles on it, but it had the three Adidas stripes, and with the red, that was white with the red stripe Adidas, and then on the toe, it was black suede on the toe. So yeah, so I had that on. Think some blue cargo shorts, Adidas black socks. I had a red and black Adidas shirt, so Adidas was popping before Nike became the ruler of the shoe world. Before Mike got his shoe deal, Adidas had it on lock, and not just Adidas being an athletic shoe that it was. Um, Run DMC pushed Adidas to another level. You know what I'm saying? And as they got big, and by the way, I met DMC at the Lux Club in DC one night. I was coming from a cabaret, and my cousin Juanetta, she's in like a crew, and they threw a seersucker and sundress. So it was in the summertime. Seersucker suits and sundress and heels cabaret at a club. And so I went to that, and it was awesome. And the club area was right across from where the park uh club is at. You know, the park is like a upscale club downtown. I never been to the park. I need to go there, but I was almost getting ready to party up in there back in September um when the Mayor Bowser gave her creator award. So I went to that. I went to the 40th year creators award, and I'm like, how the hell this not been on my radar? And it been around for 40 years, and Mayor Burry started it. And this is the Mayor Muriel Bowser last term or last year. She gonna finish out her year, and she's stepping down. I don't think she want to work with President Trump. Being rogue like he is. Just like I'm not waiting on the Supreme Court to do stuff, and she like I'm not dealing with this. Even the chief, Kathy Jackson, stepped down. So so she not going to host it next year. That's what I'm trying to say. And maybe she will. I don't know if that's part of her year to step down. She said she'll give the city another year, but then she can't. Then she went on record and said, no, somebody asked her when President Trump stepped down and his term is over, will you come back and run for mayor again? She said, I'll be back as your governor. I said, oh, okay. Did she just give us an inside scoop? So you know what that means? If she gonna come back as a governor, DC get ready to become a state. So did she just give us a gem? I caught that. That went over a lot of people's head. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So so that'll be crazy. She done did 4 terms, 12 years, and I think she tied with Marion Barry. I think he did 3 or 4. I think he did 4. He did 3 terms. Then when he got in trouble with the bus, he left, came back and went to sit on the city council. Then he ran for another term. That was his 4th term. So yeah, she done tied Marion Barry, and you know, and that's a big accomplishment. She did 3 terms, 4 terms, 4, 8, 12. No, 3 terms, because it's 4 years, 4, 8, 12, 3 terms, yeah. So, and she probably could get another term because I think she got a 90% percentile rating. She just allocated $1 billion in Southeast alone, put a new hospital there, a sports center there where the Mystics play their home games, our female pro team. They be having concerts there. They renovated over there and have townhomes and condos and homes there. And yeah, eateries, the Go-Go Museum is over there. A lot of businesses then open up over there. So under her tenure of 12 years, Southeast really been upgraded, and as well as the other parts of the city where They redone the Frederick Douglass Bridge. We got big arches on the bridge and there, looking like San Francisco somewhere. And all the uptown areas, the developers love her because, and she's been called out that you forgot about, the poor areas. And then that's what she brought up about Southeast. I put $1 billion in Southeast. What are you talking about? Because she was being criticized about you only catering to the landlords and the developers. And she said that's not true. Do your research and you'll see that that's not true. So I really believe President Trump is running her off, and she like, I'm not getting caught up in his mess because a lot of the stuff that he's allegedly doing is unlawful, and some heads gonna roll down the line for people he making do things. You know, he gonna be all right because he gonna be under the immunity law. Like the 34 charges, it's gone, like it never happened. So, but the people he ordered to do things and they did it knowing that it was against the law because Congress didn't sanction it or the Supreme Court, some heads gonna roll because of that. So I was just telling, my people are like, hey, President Trump on some, this is what I think. Don't worry about it. We'll handle it. So I'm thinking even when he leave, they're gonna try to get a Republican in the White House. And therefore, if they bring charges to these folks for things that President Trump told them to do without the without the stamp of approval from the Supreme Court and Congress, and they want to hold people accountable. I just feel like if these people go to jail, they're gonna have whoever in place, far as a Republican president, to pardon these folks. So I think President Trump like, look, don't sweat it. We got this. So yeah, that's what I think. All right, man. I'm an hour, 4 minutes in. I was only supposed to do 33 minutes, but I got on the road. Y'all know I can talk. And yeah, so how y'all like my MK outfit? My hat and scarf. This actually my wife hat and scarf. I bought her a couple of years ago for Christmas, and you know, I just thought it was fly. I'm like, let me rock that and film with it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, you know, it's what it is. Just understand that materials don't make the person. The person make the materials. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. This big day, street finest. Like, share, subscribe, and I'ma holler. Peace. For sure.